With millions of YouTube channels, lovers of the weird, wacky, and what the choose talks a lot entertainment. This is Dick's News US. Hail and welcome to Dick's News US number 6. We're revisiting corruption again tonight because damn, there seems to be a lot of it. It's kind of crazy. But not at the same time, simply because it was expected. Let's say hello to the chat. Hail to Jason Fox from 540 Studios. Awesome to have you here, sir. Vince Womack. Hail. Greetings and salutations. Landrigan. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing good. Hail to you, sir. You're awesome. Yes, sirree. Do. And then we have John Edgar. Hail, sir. Awesome to have you here as well. Yeah. If you guys missed it after this live stream, you can always go check out the hour-long Corey's Corner with the focus on horror movie favorites. As focused as it could be, given my brain. Anyway, I hope you're all doing wonderfully on this. That's not the button I wanted to push. Wonderful Monday. Well, Tuesday for some of you, but still. Yep. As I usually do, I have a somewhat humorous story to start things out with, and it's far more humorous than the way I look wearing this hat. Indeed. Anyway. Oh yeah, it helps if I share the screen. Yeah, so a driver and passenger were arrested after failed switcheroo during traffic stop. Pound of drugs found. And this, of course, is in Port St. Lucie, Florida. This is another, wow, Florida man incident. Okay. Holy shit. A habitual traffic offender and his passenger were arrested Sunday after officers watched them crawl over each other in their failed attempt to swap places. The original driver, 27-year-old Elijah Sinclair, was allegedly driving 71 miles per hour in a 45 zone on Northwest Gladys Cutoff Road. Wow. Okay, so I don't know about Florida, but here in Colorado, going that fast, automatic revocation of license, and you're going to jail just for the speeding ticket. That's insane. When Westport St. Lucie Police Department, or PSLPD, officers made their traffic stop, he tried to having his 20-year-old female passenger take the fall. The traffic offense wasn't the only alleged crime the man would be arrested for. Police say they found 1 pound of marijuana in the vehicle. According to the police department, officers also found boxes of Ziploc bags and a digital scale. Could be personal use. Just saying. Could just, personal use. Landrigan says, me and my cousin tried to do that one time. I bet it didn't work. And John Edgar says, Florida man. He never fails to disappoint, right? So, my curious question on this one is, how much did they smoke before? And then he's got a Cookies backpack. All right, anyone who's not a pothead, Cookies is a huge pot brand. Just saying. Vince Womack says Culture Casino had a news clip in his morning nap that a driver was fined with over a $1 million in speeding ticket. Wow. That's insane. That sounds like something we should totally look at some point. Not Culture Casino's nap time, but the article itself. Yeah. Anyway, Sinclair was charged with driving with a suspended license as a habitual offender, possession of marijuana with intent to sell, and obstruction of justice. His female passenger is also charged with obstruction of justice. So apparently you pick up an obstruction of justice charge if you try swapping places. And honestly, looking from this mugshot, I'm gonna say this guy smokes a lot of weed. Obviously, view all three photos. Sure, why not? There's homeboy with his drugs. What is up? And then the police with the drugs on the back of the car, and then the back of the car. All right, that's fun. A pound of marijuana. No, I don't want to fucking log into your local news site. Gosh. I agree, John Edgar. That is harsh. $1 million speeding ticket. Like, holy shit. See if I can dig it up. All right. All right. So, super speeder in Georgia gets no screw. Can that just go away? Gosh. So he was hit with a $1.4 million fine. That is insane. All right, let's see what's going on with this. Savannah, Georgia. A spokesperson for the city of Savannah, Georgia, said local officials are adjusting the language in its e-citations after a man thought he was issued a $1.4 million speeding ticket last month. Yeesh. Connor Cato was driving home on September 2nd when he was pulled over by Georgia State Patrol for driving 90 in a 55. Why would you need to go that fast in a 55 zone? You know they're going to bust your ass. I mean, come on. 35 miles an hour over the speed limit? You're kidding me, right? Cato said he knew he was going to get a super speeder ticket, a citation reserved for drivers traveling 35 miles per hour or more over the speed limit, but he'd never anticipated the fine printed on his e-citation. John Edgar says, holy crap. And Landrigan says, that ain't smart. I agree. $1.4 million, the lady told me on the phone. Cato told Nextstar's WSAV. I said, this might be a typo. And she said, no, sir, you either pay the amount on the ticket or you come to court December 21st at 1:30 p.m. I will see you in court. I will see you in court. What? Vince Womack says, kind of violates the cruel and unusual punishment clause. You ain't kidding, bro. Jeez. You want to talk about corruption, bro? Man. Seriously, I'd be all like, I'll see you in court. T.A.L, okay, a criminal defense attorney who spoke with the station, said he was shocked by the amount. Well, no kidding. Anybody gets sticker shock from that. You could be a billionaire and be like, what? I mean, come on. I mean, I can't imagine someone would have to pay a $1.4 million for not showing up for a speeding ticket. Well, not appearing, that's a different story. It totally makes sense for $1 million fine with failure to appear. I mean, come on. At first, when I asked about this, I thought it was a clerical error, Patel added. But then you told me you followed up, and apparently it's not a clerical error. But again, I've never seen something like this, ever. Patel said misdemeanor traffic violations in the state of Georgia cannot exceed $1,000. It's a misdemeanor of high and aggravated nature. It will be $5,000, he added. Now, the bond amount should be relevant to that. So for a misdemeanor, you should see a bond amounts over $5,000, maybe $10,000. Those higher bond amounts, Patel said, are usually reserved for violent crimes or infractions or for people suspected of skipping out on their court dates, but not $1.4 million. That goes to the cases of drug trafficking and murders and aggravated assaults and something of that nature. No kidding. I mean, come on. $1.4 million. Holy shit. The city did not implement the placeholder amount in order to force or scare people into court. That's a placeholder amount? What? The programmers who designed the software used the largest number possible because super speeder tickets are mandatory court appearance and do not have a fine amount attached to them when issued by police. So it just automatically defaults to 1.4, almost $1.5 million. Seriously? That's your default amount? Wow. dicks. Jeez. No explanation was given as to why developers couldn't input fine to be determined at court or fine pending on the e-ticket rather than $1.48 million. City representative, however, did appear to admit the practice could cause confusion. Confusion. Or, heart attacks in anyone over the age of like 30. I mean, come on. Recorder's Court is working on adjusting the language in e-citations to avoid further confusion. This is not like $1.5 million. What? Man, that is insane. All right. Oh, man. So, what I'm going to talk about tonight for the corruption portion of our stream, I could touch on the fact that Lauren Boebert, probably the only person in, well, no, probably not the only person on OnlyFans that's on the Hill, but she's probably the only popular one. John Edgar says, this is some horse shit. Would be interesting to hear what the judge says about this. That depends on the type of judge you get, honestly. $1.4 million, the judge might just be a dick and be like, do it. And now we're going to throw you in debtor's prison because you are in debt by a lot. Roughly $1.5 million. I mean, who that? Man, that's crazy. Anyway, we could talk about the fact that Lauren Boebert used campaign funds to go out on the nights on the town, probably even used them to pay for the Beetlejuice show that she got her tatas squeezed at. Or we could, talk about the fact that she used them to go to a place that regularly hosts drag shows. Excuse me, which violates, some of the things she said, which makes her a hypocrite, and she's already a corrupt bitch. Let's be honest. So we could talk about that, but I'm not going to. We could also talk about the fact that, Donald Trump has a gag order against him now. But again, not going to touch on that. The bigger boys can handle that. Okay. I'm going to touch on something that I found last week. And we're just going to talk about it. Because honestly, I haven't been able to make Yelling at Parked Cars. So if they covered this over on the Yelling at Parked Cars side, then I'm sorry if you got a repeat. But we're going to talk about George Santos being charged with conspiracy, wire fraud, false statements, falsification of records, aggravated identity theft, and credit card fraud. Now, obviously, we're probably not going to go through... Well, we could go through this entire thing, okay? Because this is a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of New York, okay? According to this, and let me just take a drink so I get some of this phlegm out. Okay. According to this, George Santos allegedly filed fraudulent fundraising reports with the FEC to obtain financial support for his campaign and repeatedly charged the credit cards of campaign contributors without authorization. That's pretty hardcore serious. And should make you question some things, honestly. So, man. Central Islip, New York, whatever the hell that is, a 23 count superseding indictment was filed on October 10th with the District Court of the Eastern District of U.S. charging George Santos, the United States representative in New York, with 1 count of conspiracy to commit offenses against the United States, 2 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of making materially false statements to the Federal Election Commission, 2 counts of falsifying records submitted to obstruct the FEC, 2 counts of aggravated identity theft, and 1 count of access device fraud, in addition to 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making false statements to the House of Representatives. That is a huge charge list. Now, I don't even know what to think about these people anymore, if we're going to be honest, because I could believe that some asshat would do this. You know, I absolutely would. It doesn't matter what side of the political party they're on. When a politician is close to losing power, they get scared and then they do stupid fucking shit. Okay. Now, I'm not speaking to George Santos's alleged guilt or innocence. I'm just saying it's not fucking surprising. Okay. I gotta fix something real quick. Hold on. All right. These types of people are what we need to get rid of. As I've said repeatedly, Toxic Man Flu says, "Hail and hail back, sir. How you doing?" Vince Womack says, "Sounds like Santos is a Republican." Well, that's a pretty safe bet. I mean, considering he's a Republican, but this is a serious problem. Okay. And yes, it turns out he is one. How about that? I'm sorry. I gotta try it. Fix something here. My ankle's cramped up. I fucking hate this shit. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Ow. Ankle's all locked up and shit. Oh. Man, sorry. Sorry. That was a little weird. But okay. Excuse me again. It is very easy for people in the media, even in the federal government, to falsify, invent, and give plenty of reasons for doing something like. Hold on, my brain broke because of this. Vince says if he were the D, they wouldn't prosecute. You're especially in New York. You're absolutely 100% correct, and that's because New York politics is the worst. Chicago politics used to be, but now it's New York because nobody fucking cares about Chicago. It's just a hail of bullets all the time. Nobody cares. But anyway, that is a lot of charges. He's due back October 27th, which is what, a week? 10 days from now, give or take. Okay, so I'll try to keep an eye on that because this is a serious problem. All these people announced the indictment, people from the FBI, the Attorney General, several smaller district attorney shit. Chicago was safer under Al Capone. The mob did a better job because they knew how to run shit. But whatever. All right. So, as alleged, Santos is charged with stealing people's identities, making charges on his own donors' credit cards without their authorization, lying to the FEC and by extension the public about the financial state of his campaign, which is apparently really, really bad. John Edgar, I wonder if this is meant to distract us from the huge bribery indictment on that Democrat New Jersey congressman. The Menendez thing. Well, it's possible. I think it's a tit for tat kind of thing. Like, oh, we got you guys on this bribery thing, and then, or you got us on this bribery thing. We're going to get you on this money laundering and identity theft shit. Right. That's pretty much how I see that going. Just saying. Um, Santos falsely inflated the campaign's report receipts with non existent loans and contributions that were either fabricated or stolen, according to U.S. Attorney Peace. This office will relentlessly pursue criminal charges against anyone, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Yeah, John Edgar says, yes, Menendez. Sorry. Got carried away, but I'm not really sorry. Anyway, Santos allegedly led multiple additional fraudulent criminal schemes, lying to the American public in the process. The FBI is blah, blah, blah. Anyone who attempts to violate the law, blah, 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 will face punishment, blah, blah, blah. FBI Assistant Director in charge, Smith. Agent Smith? The defendant, a congressman, allegedly stole the identities of family members and used the credit card information of political contributors to fraudulently inflate his campaign coffers, says District Attorney Donnelly. We thank our partners in the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI as we work together to root out public corruption on Long Island. You might as well just burn down Long Island at that point. If you really want to get rid of any type of political corruption or public corruption, you got to do away with pretty much all of New York politics, period. As alleged in the superseding indictment, Santos was elected last November, sworn in by the 3rd on the January 7th, and then engaged in 2 fraudulent schemes. Wow. Okay. So the party program scheme, man, trying to stay focused on this and not think about the fact that I double butterflied a beef roast tonight and I slapped it full of butter and like onions and parsley and then just rolled it up and it's been slow cooking. I can't wait for that. Anyway, okay. So during the 2022 election cycle, Santos was a candidate. Yeah, no shit. Nancy Marks, who pleaded guilty to related conduct, was a treasurer for his principal congressional campaign committee. Why do I keep doing that? So this lady has already pled guilty to related conduct in this. And yes, it's going to be good. Which doesn't show well for which doesn't bode well for Santos. Honestly, it doesn't. DeVolder Santos for Congress. During this election cycle, Santos and Marks conspired with one another to devise and execute a fraudulent scheme to obtain money for the campaign by submitting materially false reports on behalf of the campaign. And then they inflated the fundraising numbers to mislead all these people. And this is a problem. All right. Yeah, John, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I was originally going to do a beef tenderloin, but like that shit's expensive as bro. And the recipe called for a very specific tenderloin, like a Chateaubriand or something like that. And I'm like, no, I don't have a butcher that I can go to. Thank you very much. Anywho. All right. So specifically, the purpose of the scheme was to ensure that Santos and his campaign qualified for a program administered by the National Party Committee, pursuant to which the National Party Committee would provide financial and logistical support to Santos's campaign. To qualify for the program, Santos had to demonstrate, among other things, that his congressional campaign had raised at least $250,000 from third-party contributors in a single quarter. And that's where the fraud comes in. He's not doing well enough and he's not popular enough to actually raise this kind of money, so he had to fucking cheat. If you're not good enough, then fuck out of office, bitch. Like, I hate these people. They're fucking stupid. To create the public appearance that his campaign met the financial bank mark and was financially viable, Santos and Marks falsified the reports that at least 10 family members of Santos and Marks have made significant financial contributions to the campaign, and then they both knew that these individuals had neither made the reported contributions nor given authorization for their personal information to be included in such false public reports. And yes, Vince, you can make super delicious dishes with the cheapest cuts. You just have to know how to cook those cuts to achieve the proper outcome. And, like roast cuts, like rump roast, chuck roast, things like that, those are typically thicker and more tough kinds of meat. So you need to cook them for longer. And like you're basting and like afterwards, if you want to fry it up to make sure it's brown and crispy on the other sides, that's perfectly fine as well. It's super good. Anyway, in addition, understanding that the National Party Committee relied on the FEC fundraising data to evaluate candidates' qualification for the program, they agreed to falsely report that Santos had loaned the campaign significant sums of money, when in fact Santos had not made the reported loans, and at the time the loans were reported did not have the funds necessary to make such loans. These false reported loans included a $500,000 loan when Santos had less than $8,000 in his business account, personal and business accounts. Okay. They played it stupid, as you would expect one of these idiot ass people to do. Okay. Just saying. 500,000. You only need to get to 250. Okay. You don't got to double it to seem like you're a badass, you fucking moron. And then did he think they weren't going to check the numbers? Not going to check the paper trail? What the actual fuck? Like, regardless of whether this is true or not, from what I'm understanding, this is some retardation on levels that should not be allowed in any type of position of authority. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So by fucking lying their faces off, they made sure that he made it. John Edgar says they sure as heck did play it stupid. How could you be any more obvious? At least he wasn't like, what if we got it to like $3 million and made ourselves seem super popular? Let me buy subscribers. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah, let me pay for view count. Oh, that's the equivalent of what this dumbass did, but on a much more grand and illegal scale. Like, come on. These people can't even manufacture social proof the way they're supposed to. Ugh. The mob did it better. All right, so now we're on to the credit card fraud. Okay, so between December 21 and August of 22, Santos devised and executed a scheme to steal the personal identity and financial information of his campaign contributors. Fucking politics, bro. Politicians are fucking parasites. They are scourge on this planet. And I hate every single one of them. There's not a good one out there. Don't care who they are. Still hate them. Because of these unauthorized transactions, oh yeah, he charged the contributors' cards repeatedly without authorization. Because of this, funds were transferred to Santos's campaigns, the campaigns of other candidates for the elected office, and his own bank account. To conceal the source of these funds and circumvent campaign limits, Santos falsely represented that some of the campaign contributions were made by other persons, such as his relatives or associates, rather than true cardholders. Santos did not have authorization to use their names in this way. So, for example, in December of 2021, one contributor texted Santos and others to make a contribution to his campaign, providing billing information for 2 credit cards. In the days after he received the billing information, Santos used the credit card information to make numerous contributions to his campaign and affiliated political committees in amounts exceeding applicable contribution limits without the contributor's knowledge or... Oh my gosh. Vince says, and doubly stupid since bribery is basically legal in the U.S. with all the loopholes, right? He also says politics breaks down to poly, which is Greek, meaning many, and tick, which means the blood-sucking parasite. Indeed. Landrigan says he's a good politician, which is why he's such a bad person. Obviously, he's not a good politician, because a good politician would at least know how to hide that shit. And we'll get to that in just a second. But yes, John Edgar, it is epic dumbassery. 100% agree with you there. Okay, so... oh my gosh. Okay, so Santos repeatedly charged the contributor's credit card without the contributor's knowledge or authorization, attempting to make at least $44,800 in recharges. This piece of shit wouldn't have cared if he broke this individual. Like, if he drained their accounts, he wouldn't have given a shit, because all he cares about is his own political stature. And honestly, I hope he has a really rough lover in federal prison, because he better fucking go there. Give me a break. I'm sick and tired of these assholes getting away with everything. And he repeatedly concealed the true source of the funds by falsely listing the source of funds as Santos himself, his relatives, etc. On one occasion, Santos charged $12,000 to the contributor's credit card, ultimately transferring the vast majority of the money to his personal bank account. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to think we might need a vigilante to just like come out and be like, hey, Santos, I'm gonna take $12,000 out of your ass. And that's, of course, a joke, by the way, YouTube. Ha ha. See? Laughing. Ha ha. They're laughing too. LOL. 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 Everyone's laughing. Just saying. Anyway, so John Edgar says, LOL was just thinking that. I hope he finds love and intimacy in the prison shower. Yes, indeed. I hope he does. And I hope the person has like a Weinstein cock, so it's all mangled and stuff and it hurts on the way in. Anyway, that's getting a little carried away. And he's only 35. He's younger than I am, and this fucking moron. It's being handled by Public Integrity Section. Where the hell are they at? Public Integrity what? Do they not do jobs unless it's actually a big time jackass like this? And if you want to keep tabs on it anywhere, there's the docket number. Check that out. Ugh. Man, Vince Womack says, I was thinking the same thing, and I wasn't joking in my mind. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, dude. I'm so absolutely 100% sick and tired of corrupt politicians. I know it's been that way since the very beginning. But the reality is, we need to stop letting these fucking silver spoon, shiny teeth, silver tongued douche fucks take over our country. We seriously need to stop this. We need someone with ethics and morals in place when they take the office, not some old douchebag that's half retarded puppet or super corrupt or some young gung-ho fuck stick that decides it's okay to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from people. This man, if you even want to call him that, does not deserve any authority within the United States. And as a matter of fact, I would be concerned about putting him in charge of cleaning toilets, cleaning porta potties at a hippie festival or one of those drugged out EDM festivals. Like, I want him to be in charge of the porta potties, and that's about all he should be allowed to do. But then again, he's going to be in charge of a lot of crap when he's in prison. Let's be honest. If this man actually goes to prison, which I doubt because it's fucking New York politics. I don't care if it's an R or a D. It's New York politics. And while he clearly doesn't have the money to bribe his way out, he's still a politician. So favors are just as good, if not better, than money. Just saying. I'm just going to see real quick. All right. We good. We good. All right. Man, I'm still thinking about that freaking roast and the mashed potatoes and like for real. Okay, we did Yukon Gold potatoes. And what we do is when we boil them, we make sure there's a half stick of butter inside the potatoes while it's boiling and softening up, right? And then we drain them, hit it with another half stick of butter. We add heavy cream and milk and make it nice and creamy. Salt, a little bit of nutmeg, and not a lot. It's all to taste, of course, but the nutmeg that goes in there just so good. And then we're making some it's not homemade, but we're making some country gravy because it's really good in general. And then we got the roast, which is like, I brought it home. I aged it for a few days myself. And then I pulled it out the package, right? And I butterflied it, where you cut it like just below the surface here, and you flip it over, right? And then you turn it around and then you cut it the opposite direction on the same face of the meat until you get the same effect. And then you flip it open, maintaining thickness on all three sections of the meat. Okay, the two that you cut, and you want to make sure they're kind of even, right? And then after you flayed it open, what we did was we took the parsley and more butter. Always got to get the butter in there, and then we put just a dash of onion powder in there. I would use fresh onions, but there's a lot of people around here don't like the texture of it, so I just use the powder, and just a tash. And then, we mixed that all together with it being melted and stuff. And then we took a basting brush and we brushed it all over the meat, right? The side that I cut open and it butterflied. And then as I started rolling the meat back into a log, we brushed more of the butter and the parsley onto it, right? And then we rolled it up and we brushed it and we rolled it and we brushed it and we rolled it and we brushed it. And then I took some cooking twine and I tied it in 1.5-inch intervals, just boom. And then put the slow cooker. Okay. I used a slow cooker on this one, but we set it to high, which reaches about 300 degrees. Okay. And then you put it in there anywhere from, depending on what you like your meat being cooked at, you do it from about 55 minutes up to, say, 90 or so, depending on how well done you like it. And then, okay, All right. And then, okay, after it's done cooking in the slow cooker, what you do is you take it out and you take a tablespoon of oil. It could be cooking oil, it could be olive oil. It's your personal preference. I just go for the regular cheap cooking oil, the vegetable oil stuff, just because it's cheap and plentiful. But then you brown it inside of the frying pan after that's started. Like you get the oil to start like smoking a little bit, and then you put the meat down in there, and then you just pan sear it on all sides until it's brown, right? And then you take it and you set it aside. And you set it aside for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I know that, what? You got to let your meat rest. Don't cut the meat until you've let it rested after all the cooking, because the juices and the goodness and the flavor concentrates. And it's so good. Vince says, damn, now my tummy's rumbling. John Edgar says, holy crap, you know how to eat. You're giving us a food boner. Yeah. He said boner. Vince Womack says, you make Bush look like a preg chef. Correction, prep chef. Looking like a prig comes after eating. Haha, yeah. And I don't think so. I think Bush is way more talented than I am. As a matter of fact, Bush dropped some foodstuffs over in the Toxalot Town Square Gilded. If you're not a member, make sure you join, because it's got a lot of fun stuff. Food, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that. That man made his own burger buns. All right. Burger buns. Is there no way to scroll the pictures? Gosh. It's so good. Get out of here. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And then oh man. Bush McFadden, you and I could make some beautiful food babies together, sir. Wherever you are. Oh yeah, he made these like honey buns. Honey bun, sugar buns. Yeah, nah, Bush, he knows what's up. He knows what's up. See, my primary thing is like Bush has a wide repertoire of cooking, right? For me, it's meat and pasta based stuff. Like, and that's pretty much it. Like the breads and stuff are all my wife, so I still get covered there. But like, I know how to handle the meat like a champ, right? Like I kill it. It's good. But like, I like pastas. I like pasta dishes. I like making sauces. Like I make the most killer Alfredo sauce you'd ever have in your life. And like I'm working on this brown butter sauce, right? And I'm trying to get the balance right. Last time I used too much onion, but when I get that shit right, it's gonna be so damn good. Because I'm thinking about brown butter sauce and then maybe getting like a pork tenderloin and then butterflying that bitch open and filling it with the brown butter sauce with the proper flavorings and such, and then rolling that up. But instead, I'll go through the normal cooking thing with I'll roast it and all that stuff. But then, aha, I want to bread it and fry it that way. That might be too much, but I do love me some breaded pork. Goodness, is so good. Definitely getting hungry. I haven't eaten. Well, I have, but nothing like this yet. Man, I'm waiting. Oh yeah. See, Vince Womack says bread is my Achilles heel, and he says I can't get it fluffy, bro. First of all, bread is complicated depending on whether or not you're using a sponge recipe or not. Because if you're using a sponge recipe, that shit is an all day crazy mess. Like making French bread or Italian bread or certain dinner rolls. Like, you got to make sure you get the sponge right. And then you have to make sure that you get the crust like perfect. Oh my gosh. Hey, and John Edgar says, my bread making machine broke down. That sucks, dude. I hate it when my kitchen appliances break. Like when my air fryer goes out, I am going to hold a full on fucking Viking funeral for that thing, because I use that thing everything. Like, you'll buy TV dinners, right? Or you'll buy corn dogs or microwave burritos or whatever. Yeah, no, air fried. Yeah. If you have not, okay, I know it sounds weird. But the El Monterey beef and bean burritos, the ones that, you can microwave and then half almost not throw up on the way, afterwards, like those things are bomb as shit in an air fryer. Like, And I'm still trying to learn how to make different things in the air fryer too. Stuff that you wouldn't expect to make in an air fryer, right? But I'm working on it. My next thought idea is to make some stuffed sweet peppers. And what I was thinking about doing was taking some, probably wind up doing an Asiago, maybe. Yeah, probably stick with the dry cheeses on that one. Maybe some Asiago and Parmesan and stuff, right? And maybe throw in just a touch of like some sausage, some Italian sausage or something. And I know that sounds weird because it's sweet peppers stuffed, but you stuff the sweet peppers with that, right? And then you wrap it in bacon. And then you cook it, and it comes out all crispy, and it's delicious. And oh my gosh, you have a wonderful snack / meal just chilling there, Like, I like myself some stuffed peppers. Like, See, and my version of a jalapeno popper, like I know a lot of people like to do, you take the jalapeno and you put the cream cheese on it. You cut them at like a 45-degree angle or whatever, sometimes just half. But fuck that. What you do is you core out the jalapeno, right? Pull all the seeds out so you're not unnecessarily melting your face. Okay. And then you're going to stuff it with the cream cheese. I like to mix the cream cheese with some meat because I like meat. But then you stuff that down in there. And then you bread that whole fucking thing. All right. Depending on what your breading preferences are, of course, I like to just go with an old school method of like the double dip where you go egg, flour, egg, breadcrumbs. I guess triple dip, whatever. But, and then it's really good that way. I like it. And one of the other things I'm going to try to teach myself how to make is proper mozzarella sticks. Okay. And the breading on that is actually kind of complicated, but I won't complain because learning how to make sauces is also complicated because you have to tend your sauces. Like if you leave your Alfredo sauce unattended for even a minute too long without, it's screwed. It's screwed. It goes to shit. It like, nope. Separate. You could curdle any number of the ingredients in there, and if you don't melt the cheese correctly, lots of problems with sauces. But it's so good. It's so good. Oh my gosh. I've also been really busy recently helping my wife with a decoration for Halloween, which I will show you guys when we get further done with it, because I'm not huge on progress photos. You know what I mean? Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a little shy of an hour, but I'm going to go ahead and bounce so I can get some food. I'm going to go stuff my face with this awesome roast we've been talking about, and it's going to be delicious. I hope it turned out well because I wasn't there to end it, to finish it off, and just so good. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay sexy, don't get murdered, and as always, have a wonderful time.